Good morning, traders. Welcome to today's market review. This is Fred Razak at CMtrading. Today's November 27, 2020. And today is Friday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the US dollar slowly losing ground versus the major pairs. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. No major economic events scheduled for today. But as we're looking at the currencies, the euro and the Aussie dollar both continue to inch higher versus the US dollar. We're going to take a look at that in just a second. In terms of the indices, the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ both look to gain. Historically speaking, the day after Thanksgiving is a bullish day for the indices. So just be aware of that going into today, but you want to just be careful with it, okay? Just as we've gained a lot over the past month and a half. Looking at commodities, gold on their lows, while oil retraces $1 after hitting that $25 a barrel level. Now looking at the stocks, Amazon finally catches up, okay, and starts rallying. It's a day for Amazon, okay? Cyber Monday is coming next week, and that is probably the biggest sales day of the year for Amazon, so just be aware of it. Now looking lastly at cryptos, Bitcoin holding steady at 17,000. Let's see if it could make that second run today. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So we're going to first take a look at the Euro USD here, okay? And you can see pretty much that we are inching in this resistance-ish area, 119.25 right now. So it is solidifying itself. It is making itself somewhat of a wedge formation that looks like it wants to break out. Now, we can't break out until we get that confirmation. What I like about this is that it's systemic, okay? When the dollar gets weaker, and it's getting weaker across the board, that means that it's systemic and there's more of a chance for it to break out. So just keep that in mind today. When we look at the Aussie dollar as well, looking to make that break on the top side, okay, above 74-ish levels. So keep that in mind. However, looking at the Rand, we pretty much leveled out here at 1510-ish level, okay, although it got much stronger. It did break that 1560-ish level, okay, quite before, but that's something to consider as this is really just consolidating at this area. Now jumping into commodities, gold, dead, okay, dead on the floor, okay, as people are shifting, investors are shifting their focus from gold to Bitcoin and to other equity investments as things are kind of rotating once again. Okay, now looking at oil, we saw a little bit of a retracement from 45.95 to 44.95, as you could see here. Now, that's not a big move to really consider, as we've really broken out quite considerably from $40 a barrel. So that's to be expected at 45. It's around this number. Okay, but for all honesty, okay, going into the end of the year, okay, if we're anticipating that the markets will start gaining themselves back in the midsection of the second quarter of 2021, we could expect oil to actually considerably go higher between now and then, okay, as future anticipation continues. Now remember, oil is a future contract, and with that, it means that oil is bought 5 to 6 months in advance on the markets, right? Airlines are looking to book the price of oil now for demand for 6 months from now, okay? So with that in mind, I do expect oil to considerably continue to rally. Now, looking at the NASDAQ and the Dow Jones, first, let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Did gain above that 12,000-ish level. If we look at a daily chart, we're right there. We're right at our highs. And this does need to consolidate above this area and does need to break out if it's really going to give us a breakout here. Something to consider, okay? Because between this 12,200-ish level and 12,500-ish level, there is significant resistance, okay? The stocks need to follow through, as this has kind of had a hard time over the past couple of months, okay, breaking out higher. Now remember, at the end of August, we made this high of 12,500-ish level. Looking at the Dow Jones, we're right now just gaining a little bit of momentum this morning, trading at 29,850-ish level right now. Now, historically speaking, the day after Thanksgiving is a bullish day. It's generally a day that the markets like to rally. Okay, it is a big online shopping day. Certainly, pre-pandemic situation, it was definitely the biggest sale day of the year. Okay, going into from Thanksgiving to Christmas, this is when everybody is buying their presents for their families in anticipation of the Christmas holiday. So with that in mind, okay, despite the fact that we're in a pandemic, things may shift to online, okay, which should affect the price of Amazon, okay, as Amazon has gained tremendously over the past year. Let's take a look at Amazon right here. It's at 31.78. And it is looking to break that 3,200-ish level as it hits that resistance. This is very reminiscent of the NASDAQ the NASDAQ index, okay? Although it is relatively weaker because you see it's not trading closer to that 33-ish level where we would have been, okay, if we looked and compare the two graphs to each other. Okay, but looking at the other stocks, okay, Apple, okay, did get beat up this year from 132 high. This is after its 4-for-1 split, trading at 111 right now and now bouncing to 114. So this does have some space to go higher. Okay, now Apple revealed some of its new products out there, so we could see a resurgence there as well, especially if we get a second stimulus package. People are more prone to buying stuff and using it. Okay, now looking at Facebook, no big changes there. 373 on its highs, close to its highs as well. Microsoft also just trading there in that range. 215 is your resistance-ish area. So all the stocks are really trading very close to the index, okay? The index being the NASDAQ here, okay, reflecting to the stocks that are listed on it, okay, which means that they're par to each other, okay? So there's no kind of relative strength that you could say or disparity between the index and the stocks. Now, JP Morgan has been very strong here on its highs, 122. If you look at some of the other stocks as well, Alcoa's also been very strong. And these are representative of the big board stocks, which is the Dow Jones. And it has been holding quite steady. Okay, so we may see a resurgence of that as well. Now, looking at Bitcoin. Okay, Bitcoin retraced yesterday to 16,500-ish level. Let's take a look at it. It did tank to that area. And then it's bouncing right here. Okay, so this is to be expected. Okay, we had that breakout from 12,000, 11,600-ish level, and we rallied all the way up to 19,000. So the fact that we've retraced, what is that, 3,000 points is to be considered, okay? I would have expected it to retrace back to the 15,500-ish level, okay, but we didn't get to that level at all. We got to a level of 16,200-ish level. If we look at a weekly chart, just to give a perspective, this was a previous resistance-ish right there, okay, as we bounced. So that was to be anticipated if we look at previous trading from 3 years ago. This is why it's so wonderful when you have historical data to reflect to, okay? Especially if it's longer data, it has much more of a relevance when we look at it. So keep that in mind. All right, so as we go into the last week of November, the last trading day of November, okay, today's the last Friday. We have still next week on Monday, which will be the last trading day of November. We will have NFP next week, so just keep that in mind. This is Fred Razak. I want to wish you a great trading day and a beautiful weekend. Keep healthy, keep safe. God bless. Thank you.